Greetings and salutations, everyone. Rad Dreams here with Rad Dreams Review, and today we are going to be doing a review! Finally! I know it's been a while since my last one, and we are going to be doing a film review today over something pretty spicy that I think you'll be entertained by. So strap in, fasten your seatbelts, and get ready. And before we get into the review, as always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It does help me out a lot. I would deeply appreciate it. We're very close to getting 200 subscribers, so that would be absolutely amazing if we could hit that milestone with this review. If not, we'll just keep on pushing. So with that being said, let's dive into the review. So today we are going to be talking about the 2020 film on Netflix called RRR. And no, it is not a pirate film. No. Figured I would enjoy my beverage of choice with this review today. But the 3 R's stand for Rise, Roar, and Revolt. Now, a little background knowledge about this film. It is a Hindi film, if I'm not mistaken. It is a Tollywood film, which is a lot different than Bollywood. Let me back up. So, truth be told, I have never watched an Indian film in my life before, and I'm a pretty big cinephile, if I'm being honest. I know it's surprising that I haven't seen it before because, my film repertoire kind of consists of American cinema, Thai, Japanese, and Korean. So, walking into this, I had no preconceived notions whatsoever. And this film was directed by S.S. Rajamouli. If I'm pronouncing that correctly, please correct me if I'm wrong. I may end up butchering some of these names because I'm not familiar with the language or how to pronounce their things. So, anyway, I am familiar with the term Bollywood, but that's about it. I was very surprised to learn during my research of this project that RRR is considered to be a Tollywood piece that I mentioned earlier. And if I keep on looking down, that's because I have my script right here. Haven't really memorized it, but that is why I keep on kind of looking down, looking up. So this is very important when you talk about RRR, the differentiation between Tollywood with a T and Bollywood with a B. Very big difference because you're talking about a massive language difference. I know I keep on saying difference, but this is very important. So Tollywood is primarily consisting of South Indian, meaning that the languages are primarily Telugu, Tamilim, Kannada, and Malayalam. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I do apologize. I'm butchering it most likely. Bollywood, on the other hand, uses Hindi, Punjabi, and Haryanvi, I think, and Bihari. So again, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. I do apologize once more. But again, that is a little bit of history that I think is important to note. But we're not here to talk about the differences in language. We are not talking about the differences between Tollywood with a T and Bollywood with a B. We are here to speak on the film RRR. It is considered a fictional period piece set sometime during the 1920s when Britain was occupying India. Which there is a little bit of truth to that because back in the day, Britain did occupy that area. Granted, like I said, this is a fictional piece. So the main premise of the film is a young village child is kidnapped away from her friends, away from her family, and loved ones by the antagonist, Governor Scott Buxton, and his wife, Catherine. One of our main protagonists, Kumaram Bihim, is the village protector, or Beam. I think that's how you pronounce it. And he is tasked with not only finding the young girl Mali, but bringing her back home safely. And at the same time, our other protagonist, Rama Raju, is a deep cover British officer who joined and infiltrated the ranks of the military in order to arm his kind of villagers and acquire weapons and disperse them amongst them, because they're revolutionaries and they're trying to fight against and rise up against the British threat. And through a freak accident, both of these main men risk literally life and limb to save a young boy from certain death, and they become best friends, like the best friends, like thick as thieves. They're the way the movie portrays it, it's almost like a bromance in a way, which is kind of entertaining to watch their kind of friendship kindle. So little did they know, I love that phrase, they were both on a fast track to collide with one another after their missions inadvertently crash. Through different trials and tribulations, they are able to work together and accomplish both of their goals. This is a delicious beverage. We finished it. All right. Overall, the premise, the plot, and the pacing is spaced out very well. It follows a fairly, linear path, and it flows pretty seamlessly. One thing to note is roughly the first hour is cut into chapters, much like a Quentin Tarantino film, which I did appreciate because he's one of my more favorite, American directors. And the way that this is presented was kind of like a stroke of genius, if you ask me, because it helped kind of elevate the movie in regards to its storytelling. Even though RRR boasts a 3-hour runtime, it didn't feel like it. It almost felt like Avengers Endgame in a way, where it kind of like sucked you in, because that movie was roughly 3 hours long, and it sure as hell did not feel like that to me. So the movie was, it was able to transport me to their reality, right? And it was allowing me to kind of leave my suspension of disbelief right at the door. And this is kind of what you have to do when you watch this cinema spectacle. That's not to say that that's a negative at all. It's just there's some pretty absurd moments that happen in terms of like story beats, action sequences, and choreography moments. For instance, you have the time where Rama Raju single-handedly quells a literal horde of people. A literal horde! And you also have the time where Beam single-handedly takes down a feral tiger with his bare hands. Or, how about towards the end of the film, the climax, where Beam wields a freaking motorcycle with one hand and uses it as a weapon! Like what? What? It was insane! Oh my god! You need to see this scene! It is insane! Oh my god, I'm freaking out. So, to say that RRR is an action-packed smorgasbord is an understatement. The action and choreography sequences deviate away from traditional American cinema ideals, and they do offer unique and entertaining as well as stunning moments that you cannot help but to marvel at. There were some moments where I was shouting with glee like I am now and clapping with excitement. Sure, there were some minor strokes, borrowed elements from other films, like John Woo, for instance, with the doves and all that. But mostly everything else offers a really fresh take. To further heighten these bombastic sequences, we have the soundtrack developed by M.M. Kirivani. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Whose original musical numbers were really delightful and were very pleasant on the ears. And speaking of the musical numbers, while there were a few that kind of deviated from the overall plot, the others did make sense and did fit well within the universe. And when they did happen, the characters sang very well and danced impeccably. Other aspects of RRR that kind of exceeded my expectations and excelled were the visual effects. The production quality, too. And the last thing I would say would be the action as well as the acting performances, right? Our two main characters gave very powerful and convincing performances. I found myself sympathizing with them on a very deep and personal level. Even the side characters did well. The only issues that I had was the somewhat kind of cartoony nature of the British opposition. I know that they are the antagonists, and we, the audience, are supposed to hate them, which I did. It's just their dialogue, movements, and kind of the way they conducted themselves were very cartoonish and over-dramatized, and therefore not really believable. At the same time, it wasn't so distracting that it can be construed as a serious kind of negative mark on the movie. Through and through, I do believe that RRR felt like a cinematic epic, and I really was able to thoroughly enjoy the film from start to finish, if you couldn't tell. There are very few negative criticisms that I can dish out for this film. Overall, I really recommend RRR. And if you like over-the-top action, if you like over-the-top drama, then you gotta watch this. It is 100% watch in my book, and I give it the Rad Dreams review rating of 8.75 out of 10. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this review. I know it's a bit of a deviation of what I normally do for reviews, and I'm honestly excited to watch more Indian film. This was my very first one, and it definitely knocked it out of the park. So I'm very much looking forward to exploring what else they have to offer. So make sure you let me know down in the comments below if you have seen this film. What was your favorite part? If you haven't seen it, did this convince you to watch it? It is on Netflix, so make sure you check it out. RRR. Make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and make sure, above all else, that you continue to stay rad.